Hello everyone, welcome to Derana BIZ 24. International Institute of Health Sciences is Sri Lanka's pioneer in health education. And throughout few episodes, we've been having conversations with them under different themes. Today we're going to focus on something special, that is how IIHS contributes towards making their qualifications a global passport in the South Asian region. And to talk about this, let me introduce the guests I have in the studio today. Introducing, first of all, the Head of Academics at IIHS, Dr. Dinusha Kanatiwala. Hello to you, Doctor.
Hello.
And next, I would like to introduce Deputy Head of Research and Curriculum Development at IIHS, Miss Miriam Josiah. Hello to you as well, Miriam.
Thank you. Hi.
And while it's my pleasure to have you all at the program today, I would like to start off with Dr. Dinusha asking now, over 2 decades, IIHS has been maintaining its high quality education, delivering the best in the healthcare education. And also it is considered as an international university learning center. Let's talk about this concept a little bit, how it's initiated and the way forward.
Yes, so IIHS we started about 20 years ago with the main aim of exporting skilled labor. So right now we have graduated around 2,000 students and over 500 students have gone out of the country and they are working as very respectable healthcare professionals all around the world. Now if a student go out of the country and to get kind of very respectable job opportunity, generally we believe they have to have a recognized, internationally recognized educational qualification.
Right.
So in order to achieve this, that is why we brought this concept called IULC, International University Learning Center. So through this concept, we have partnered with many international recognized universities from Australia, UK, even with USA. We have partners in Scotland, Finland. So we have partnered with many internationally recognized universities. So through this platform, we have been able to bring internationally recognized educational qualifications to Sri Lanka. So if you look at the education system in South Asian region, unfortunately certain students have been excluded from this higher education system due to different issues that can be they are not being able to afford for programs or not accessible for certain programs. So this particular IULC concept have become a very good solution for this problem, where we are bringing quality education to Sri Lanka, not only to Sri Lanka, to the South Asian region.
Right, okay. That's very interesting. I think we can dig into the conversation more going forward. I would like to ask Miriam now, this is a question where a lot of people and especially the parents have, how qualified the university is, you know, the qualification, and they would all want their children to go through an international qualification. Why do you think an international qualification is important to the students in Sri Lanka?
Well, that's a very timely question, and considering that international qualifications and the international job market is ever expanding, more than any other field, the healthcare field has a high demand. And if you look at, just for example, nursing, the International Council of Nurses has said that there are over, generally currently the global nursing workforce tops at about 30 million nurses, and still there is a demand for about another 5 million to meet the demand as it is. And with about 17% of that workforce due to retire over the next 10 years, they are topping and probably estimating about 10 to 11 more million nurses are needed to fill these gaps. So there will always be a demand for international qualifications, especially in healthcare. And when you look at IIHS, our programs have opened the doors and created a plethora of opportunities for students to go into various countries, just as Dr. Dinusha mentioned. We go into Australia, to the UK, to USA, and we've had, as hard as it seems for people to understand, we can have our young people earning close to about 8 to 10 lakhs per month by the age of 24.
Interesting.
So that is something that parents will find very difficult to believe, but it's actually a reality. We've made dreams a reality with our pathways, and have many of our students who have gone through these pathways. They're successful, they're established right across the world with secured jobs and even obtained PR. So it's no longer a dream. So our pathways really create all these international opportunities, and healthcare is a booming field, and it will never lose its flair, as I would say. So yeah.
Along with that, Miriam, I'm sure the ones who are watching would like to know the qualifications and international programs that are offered at IIHS. Let's talk a little bit about them.
Sure. IIHS has a variety of programs, starting with nursing. If nursing is the area you wish to go into, we have pathways that are ranging from 3+1 to a 2+2. That means that the first part of the program is done with IIHS, the IIHS diploma, and then they progress into the final year or the final 2 years of the degree in the respective country. So we have tie-ups with Deakin, with ECU, with Finland, Metropolia University of Applied Sciences, and the list goes on for nursing. And we also have programs that they can complete here once they finish their diploma, a 3+2 with Coventry University UK as well as Open University Malaysia. And if physiotherapy is the area you wish to go into, you can there are similar pathways such as 3+1. Prized pathway is the one to Coventry University, which is directly into a master's after a 3-year diploma, and which directly feeds into getting registration, which in the UK as well. So our Australian pathways with Deakin, with UNISA, with UTAS, and also with the James Cook University is on a 2+2. We also have a 2+2 pathway to the University of Aberdeen in Scotland. So that pretty much sums up what we have for physiotherapy, and much more pathways coming in future. And if a student wishes to do biomedical sciences, if they're into research and development of treatments and treating diseases, biomedical science is the area that you have to be. And I would say that we have, I think, the biggest range of programs that they can go into with either 2+2 or a 3+1. So we have a 3+1 with Metropolia, again, Finland, and we also have with Deakin, with Canberra, University of Canberra, with University of New England in Armidale, Australia, and also we have a 2+2 with the University of Aberdeen, and many more pathways. So students who wish to do either of these areas will have a variety of opportunities and chances to go abroad after doing our programs, and definitely obtaining the international qualifications that will take them places.
And that's a pretty interesting line of qualifications that are offered by IIHS. If you are interested, you know where to go. With that, we are now ready to take a short break. Welcome back after the break. Today we are in conversation with International Institute of Health Sciences on them becoming a passport in South Asian region. And along the topic, I would like to now move into Dr. Dinusha to ask, what do you think about the change in the educational system in Sri Lanka, especially because now there's a new trend where we see a lot of students migrate for education. In that sense, how do we really guide them?
Yes, as you correctly said, these days, just after A-levels, not only students, even the parents, they wish to send their kid out of the country and to get an international qualification so that they can get stable in another country. But one of the issues that we have seen is just after A-levels, whether these kids are ready to face that challenge. Because if they move out of the country just after their A-levels, they have to work independently. They have to go there, study, and sometimes they have to do some part-time work, and they have to have certain sort of communication skills. So sometimes we have seen students are struggling little bit if they are not oriented properly. So we obviously we think that they have to have some sort of a transition period where they can get them transformed in a way that they can go there and spend a quality life independently. So if a student go through our pathway, as Miriam said, that we have numerous pathways where they can complete certain amount of time period with IIHS, and then they can go out of the country. So that is why our vision itself, it says our vision is to transform people, community and landscape. So during that time period at IIHS, we expect them to get some exposure, get themselves oriented in a way that they can face global challenges. That is why our classroom environment is little different. we have pushed this traditional, teacher-centric classroom away. We have student-centric classroom where they have to study independently, and we also give them more or less a kind of projects they have to work independently. They have to come up with innovative solution for a problem. So that is why we have created our learning environment or teaching environment in a way that they will get a behavioral change in a positive manner, where they can face any sort of challenges if they go out of the country one day.
So I think that is the new way forward in education as well, where you don't just sit and learn or memorize the things and come, but also there is a mix, and it's a blended learning system after all. I think that's pretty interesting. Along the line, I would like to ask Miriam now, anyone who's coming into the nursing industry would like to know the opportunities that in line for the future. What are the opportunities that are in line, if you may say?
Very good question. Well, contrary to what people think nursing is all about, they always have this picture of the lady with the lamp, Florence Nightingale, by the bedside, and it's always going to be there looking after patients.
Yeah.
But with the ever-growing demand for nursing, the scope has broadened to different areas. I mean, I see it more elaborate than any other profession. So if at all you're a nurse wants to continue in clinical nursing by the bedside and looking after patients, that is also possible, and there are a wide variety of specialities that they can go into, such as perioperative nursing, where it's all about surgeries and working in the operating theatre. There's trauma in emergency if you like the high adrenaline type of work, all right. And if you like critical care, where there's intense care looking after critically ill patients or cardiac care. There's even specialized areas such as palliative and hospice care, geriatrics. If you want to go into nutrition as well, you can do that. Then there's also pediatrics, gyn and obs or maternal, midwifery, and other areas such as research. They can even go into law. They can go into politics. They can go into forensics, so it's all CSI and everything. So it's a brilliant array of areas that students can go to. And if you like a more quiet and you like to work with children, you can become a school nurse as well and be a nurse at the colleges or universities. And it's amazing how from the time I studied nursing to what nursing has become now, and the different specialities and areas that you can go into. You can go into military nursing, you can go into correctional facilities as a nurse. So there is a wide array. It's no longer by the bedside. So yes, nursing is amazing.
Out of the box, I would like to ask you this question on the same line. There is a topic which comes into line when we talk about nursing, the gender balance. Is there a gender balance in Sri Lankan nursing profession, and how do you see that as? In your opinion?
Many have thought it's a profession for women.
Yeah, because we all play those roles.
We've been doing that from ages, because as mothers, and think that the whole concept of being a nurse is always, it's always given to a female. But the demand for male nurses is also there, but there's always that stigma. It's like, well, males can't be nurses.
That's exactly why I asked the question.
It's not there anymore. I mean, it's equal. Males and females are pretty much treated as equal, and the profession, they're not treated any different. But obviously, the males have the muscle power as well, I guess. So that's why we have more males coming into nursing now, because there is a part of a man that has that caring ability and what's needed in the profession to be able to care for people. So we find that men and women are equally interested in the profession. So there's no longer an imbalance. It's equal.
Yeah, that's great to hear, right? Because probably decades back we must have been complaining about only women being in such industries and professions, but now we see we are coming out of the stigma. There is a gender balance as well, so something good to hear. Definitely an area with a lot of opportunities, so why not? Along the line, Dr. Dinesh, I would like to ask you, earlier we discussed about, you mentioned a little bit about how IIHS prepares a student to come out of the system and face the challenge, and there's a behavioral change. Now, how do you really groom and build somebody to become multitasking and go through all of this in detail? If we discuss the blended learning system, and how do IIHS really build a person into the profession?
Yes, we strongly believe that these days kids, they have to have skills needed for the 21st century. No point of having so much of qualifications if they don't have certain other skills. Like
right.
they should be able to communicate properly. They should have certain leadership skills. They should be able to work with a team. So these skills are really needed. They should be able to, you know, think out of the box and find a couple of answers for one particular problem.
Definitely.
So that is why we have incorporated different areas into their curriculum, not only the subject matters. One example would be research. From the first year onwards, even our advanced diploma students, they do research. So by the time they graduate, usually they have 1 or 2 research publications in their hand. So definitely these type of things will add much value to their academic profile or to their CV. In addition to that, we always get them to go to the community and do some projects. Because I am always telling there are certain students who will not know how to travel by themselves, go to the community and to get the work done. So for our kids, community project is a must. They have to do at least 2 projects. So that is the place where they go to the community, work with the community, find answers for certain problems. So those are few areas. In addition to that, probably this might be the first time in South Asian region where we give marks or credits for the extracurricular work that they do.
Right.
In fact, we call them as co-curricular activities at IIHS purely because the extra activities that they do, it can be a community project, it can be a student committee work. We give them certain marks. They carry some credits if they perform well in those areas, which these marks will go to their transcript as well.
Interesting.
So that is how we develop students while making these sort of areas mandatory for students. Not only that, these students get exposed to our international partner university academics. Time to time they get guest lectures from them, so they get the opportunity to talk to them. So sort of they are kind of well oriented by the time they move out of the country. In addition to that, we have a student exchange program. So these days there are 3 students getting ready to move to Finland through this student exchange program, which is a funded program for 3 months. So these are different types of opportunities that students would get. And also they are very exposed to technology because we are using a learning management system and online platform. So if once they go to another country, these are not surprise for them because they are well kind of trained and oriented for these type of systems, and also they have built the skills needed to become a, you know, well trained global citizen one day.
They are ready to face the future.
Exactly.
Taking the experience from IIHS. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the closing of today's program, and as you know, we were in conversation with the International Institute of Health Sciences on how its qualification becomes a global passport in the South Asian region. And I would like to thank the guests we had today, Dr. Dinusha Kanatiwala. Thank you so much for joining with us today.
Thank you.
Miss Miriam Josiah, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having us.
And to everyone who is watching us today, thank you so much for joining with Other Derana BIZ 24. We tend to bring you a lot more information in a lot more industries, and today was special because we keep on driving the fact about education throughout. So do join us through our next episode as well. Thank you for joining with us.